So here we have it, the man of the hour. He's been in showbiz more than 3 decades. He's been on a hit show. He's been in numerous films and television. Please welcome Vincent Pastore. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. Getting ready. I got a show tonight up in Pleasantville with my band.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go on the road starting next Saturday with my Soprano show. And we're going to be up in New Haven. And I got my rock and roll shows and Soprano shows. So that's what's going to be going on in November because we're still on strike with the acting.
You know, Vince, back in the days in New Rochelle, that's where you grew up. Can you tell me, who's this handsome guy right here?
Well, that's me in high school.
That's you in high school. Did you
Yeah. It
always
was, and that was one of those phone booths.
did you always wanted to be an actor while you were growing up?
No.
You never said when you were a kid, when I grow up, I want to be what? What was it?
Club owner.
Club owner. So you were at the Crazy Horse Club, right?
That was one of the clubs I ran. Yeah, right there. That's me and Hoot. I got into the club business when I got out of the Navy. I was on the GI Bill, so I was tending bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went uptown. My friend Marty Lolly and Ronnie and Bobby, they opened up the place in New Rochelle called the Lollipop, and they made me a DJ. And I was tending bar on the weekends to supplement my income. And then Louis Tallerini went over to the mall in New Rochelle and he opened up a disco called Peachtrees and he made me his manager because Louis knew that I wanted to go into the club business. So he said, the only way you're going to learn how to run a club is be a manager. So I was Louis' manager at Peachtrees until 1979, and then we opened up the Crazy Horse, and I had that for 7 years. I didn't. I kind of like lost it at the end. I wrote a play about it, which would be a great movie. And then I tried it one more time over near Iona College, and then I said that's it. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. And Kevin Dillon and Maddie were hanging out with me one night in my bar, and they talked me into being an actor.
And it's like, was there a reason they said that you should be an actor? I mean, did they like your personality? What was it?
We were sitting at the bar. This is a true story. I don't remember if it was their grandfather. I think it was their grandfather passed away. And Kevin's wife at the time called me up and said, everybody's coming over to the bar. Says, I'll lock the door. I'll get some food. Because we were like family. Maddie, Kevin, Paulie, all the Dillons. We were family. They were coming. They loved my club. In fact, even Michael Imperioli talks about how he was a kid and used to come to my club in New Rochelle because I had music. I had music 7 nights a week. Um, and what happened is that we were watching Public Greenwich Village on my DVD, and Maddie said you could do that when we were looking at. Actually, we were looking at the scene with Frank Vincent and Tony Masante when they were cutting off Paulie's thumb. Eric Roberts' thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, "You could do that." But he looked over to Kevin and he said, "Why don't you hook him up with your manager?" He said, "Because my guy don't want to, you don't want to handle somebody who don't know nothing about acting." So Kevin hooked me up for an appointment. I went downtown and I fell on my face because I didn't know nothing about acting. He said, "You got a monologue?" I said, "What?" He said, "You got headshots?" I said, "What?" He said, "Listen, I'm doing Kevin a favor." So I went home. I was really depressed, and Kevin called me again. He was up in Toronto making a movie. And he said, "I got you another appointment next month. Go work on a monologue and get headshots." So Kevin pushed me. And Kevin and I were in Saudi Arabia pre-COVID. We were doing like that Comic-Con. He was with Entourage, and I was with Soprano
Is
guys.
that the picture right there, Vince? Right there?
What
You see
picture?
it? I have a program that
Yeah,
I can.
that's out in Saudi Arabia, right? And Kevin was bragging to everybody how he was the idol maker and how he discovered me.
Oh, so
if I run into Matty don't like to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Matty was a big influence. I mean, if he didn't say to Kevin, Vinny could do this stuff, he knew it.
Right,
You know,
right.
and that's how I got my start.
You know, but it's crazy because you started acting in your 40s, right?
Yeah, I was 40 years old.
And now, when you were in the club business, was there competition with you and Studio 54, even though you guys are in New Rochelle?
No, I ran a rock and roll. Studio 54. I would go to the village and bring people up. I brought up Lester Chambers. I brought up Harvey Brooks.
You know what's more
Donnie
impressive?
Rosen used to come in. Bobby Mayo used to come in. Daryl Hall came in.
Wow.
What kind of club it was?
But I'm just saying, New Rochelle is like the outside of the city. So coming to your place like that was a hot spot then.
New Rochelle is at that time had 88 bars. New Rochelle was rocking. 18 years old to get a drink. People were coming down from Connecticut so they could drink.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that back then.
Back then, nobody was bothering you for walking or driving away with a DWI.
Right.
That's not what ruined me. What ruined me is it's in my biography. It was partying. It was the drugs.
But when you say drugs, were you going like heavy drugs or just recreationally?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, no problem. Okay, so then, and also Tommy Mottola used to stop by too?
Yeah, Tommy and I grew up together. Tommy actually came into the club one night and he discovered T-Bone. T-Bone walked in my club. And T-Bone became the bass player. We played my band, Gangster Squad, which is a collaboration of all these musicians from back in the day. We do Daryl's house in Pauling once a year for my birthday, and I've been doing it for 5 years. And every time I book like for next year, I say, I hope I'm around. And there's a big picture of T-Bone, and T-Bone had a band called Domino with G.E. Smith, and they used to come and play in my club. And when they played in my club, I mean, I remember one night it was a snowstorm in the middle of January, and there were people online waiting around the corner to get in. And that's what the guys used to do for me, you know? I mean, and then T-Bone used to go down with Bobby Mayo and play down at my friend Stormy's place. And me and Stormy were doing security for Tommy Mottola back then. We were like the bag men. We used to go up to Tommy's floor on the fourth floor, and that's how I met Woody Allen, because Woody's in the same building. And this is the connection. Tommy Mottola had an office called Champion Entertainment on 137 West 57th Street, and on the 8th floor or 7th was Woody Allen's office, and also the casting people who casted Woody's movies. And Aki Anthony was the drum tech for Hall & Notes, and he was dating Ellen Lewis, who was Woody's casting assistant at the time. And she saw me in True Love and brought me in, and that's how I got into Goodfellas. It was weird because it came almost because of my rock and roll world.
Let me ask you
this. Because Ellen, you should see Vinny. You know, Ellen Lewis.
Yeah, I know Ellen.
And then she brought me in, and you know, I had a little part, but it was a start. You know what I mean?
Still, let me ask you this: how was Martin Scorsese on set? Like, even though there was the part where there was a scene that says they want coats, and you're the one that's bringing the.
Well, that's the only time I really worked with Marty on that. And then when I did Shark Tale, I was in the studio, but he wasn't in the studio at the same time. The only time I worked for Marty, I worked with De Niro a lot. I worked with Bobby a lot in my career. I mean, the stories that when he would see me on the set, Awakenings, he would give me a contract. Night in the City, he gave me a contract. Bronx Tale, all that stuff. Bobby was always good to me. The only time Marty ever hired me was Goodfellas. I don't know why. I heard from somebody big in the business that Marty never hired me because I was big pussy. that I was too visible as Big Pussy. And he didn't want to put me in these other gangster movies because people would say, well, there's Big Pussy. Well, if that's true, then I shouldn't ever worked again after that. I mean, I just picked up a job I'm doing up in Boston. I'm not playing Big Pussy. I'm playing a real guy that's in jail, that runs the mob from jail. I don't want to drop his name yet,
Yeah.
I mean, but I was told that he didn't hire me in The Irishman. And then most recently, I read with De Niro on De Niro's new movie. I read with him, but I still didn't get a job. So I say, why do I read with Bobby all the time? I read with him, analyze this, analyze that, but I don't get a job. And then I say to myself, because I'm also a teacher, I say, well, that's what he needs you for. He wants me to help him develop scripts. And he takes care of me. I mean, a Witness to the Mob, he produced it. He gave me a big part. So, I don't have a problem with Bobby. Marty never gave me a job. And I hope he's listening.
He's listening. I'm going to get him, Vincent. All right?
Yeah, come on, Marty.
Hey, Vincent, you know what I'm going to tell him? Say, hey, Marty, you know what? Vincent Pastore is my right-hand man, and he deserves to work with you, not just supporting, but a lead in one of your films.
That's right. I don't want to do it. Right. And, I'm going to tell you something. They used to call me the Upgrade King because even though I didn't have any lines, and you can't do that now, that'll send you home, I would fight for a line. And I remember one time we were working on Carlito's Way, and I kept getting up and calling Sean Penn this and that. And Brian De Palma said, send him home. And Pacino stepped forward and said, no, it works. Because it's the scene when Sean was saying, you got that guy dancing with, look at that greaseball dancing with your girlfriend. What happened then, Brian said, well, if he's going to get up and cross the table, it's not strong enough unless everybody crossed the table. So me, Tony Cucci, Sonny Zito, and Gary Pastore, we all got an upgrade.
Holy shit.
Which means you go from working as an extra, and then you become a principal.
No, I know. I went to the conservatory acting school. I still.
Okay. So we got upgrades on that. I don't know if you can get away with trying to say lines right now.
No, you can't. You can't get away.
Better not,
I mean, what you did, if you did that nowadays, right now, yeah, you're fired. Get him offset.
Right. Listen, and when Mike comes on the show later, Mike and I recently did a reading with Woody Allen for his new play. I don't know if Mike talks about it yet. But
he told me that. You guys did a table read, right?
Yeah, we're hoping to see if the money comes in, man.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Vincent, you know what's impressive from going to film and then doing Broadway, and you did awesome, man. There was some Broadway shows.
What happened is that when you're dead, you're dead. You got to find. I mean, I'm not talking about real life character on a show, so I had to reinvent myself. And what happened is movies like Servant Sarah, Matthew Perry. Mickey Blue Eyes was before Soprano. Hurricane, Deuces Wild, May, all these movies that I started doing, it was after I was killed off the show. And when we talk about it on the Soprano show, me and Sharippa, he said, well, you were the first Soprano that was available. So they were grabbing you for work.
Well,
and then what happened is that Aida and I were offered to do Chicago. She played the Mama, and I played the Cellophane Man. And then when Woody's play came out, it was the musical version of the movie, and all of the lines the same. It was weird. It was the same stuff that Joe Vitarelli did in the movie. And I was friends with Joe Vitarelli. He had passed away. I think if he was still alive, he probably would have did the Broadway show. So I auditioned for Woody, and I was up against Tony Darrow. Mm-hmm. Tony calls me on a Saturday morning about 7:30, and he says, Vinny, I just spoke to Woody. He gave you the part. He wanted to give it to the fat guy. I says, he didn't give it to me because I'm fat.
He gave it to you because you could execute the role.
He says he wanted to give it to the fat guy. I said, okay, all right, don't.
Well, in Bullets Over Broadway, you guys had a lot of fun with that, right? I mean, was it?
That's when I met Nicky Cordero.
That's him
he
right
was.
there, right? The picture right here.
Yeah, we lost Nicky. You know, it was funny. Nicky and I were doing bullets, and my friend Barry, who owns all the Cuba Libre restaurants, he said, "Me and Chaz, meaning Palminteri, are coming to the show tonight. He wants to look at Nicky from Bronxdale." So I go over to Nicky, and Nicky's in his dressing room, and I said, "Chaz is coming tonight," and he didn't. He wasn't paying attention to me. I think he was getting into character. So we're downstairs when we're doing the finale, and I was nervous that Chaz was in the audience, and I messed up a little number. I really didn't mess. I knocked the girl's hat off. I come down, and Nikki says, "You're the guy who's nervous. I should be nervous. Chaz is in the audience." I said, "Yeah, I know." So after the show, I go on stage, and Chaz comes on stage, and he was meeting all the actors. He said, "Where's the kid? Where's the kid?" I yelled up the steps. I said, "Nicky, are you coming down? I'll be right down." I yelled it up. I said, "Charles is waiting for you." So Nicky come down. He says, "I forgot he was here." He goes on stage. He meets Chaz, and Chaz offered him the role of Sonny. And then at the party, we had the opening night party of Bullets. Because I think Chaz came to a preview. We had the open night party, and Tommy was there, Mottola, and he went right up to Nicky. He says, "You're going to do Bronxdale," because Tommy produced it. Tommy Mottola produced the Broadway show, him and
Yeah,
De
yeah.
Niro. And they said, and that's when Nicky took off. When he was in Rock of Ages, he was in Bullets Over Broadway, he was in whatever, Toxic Avenger, but when he did Bronxdale, he took off.
Yeah, it's sad
And
that
then
he
we
goes
lost him.
down.
Then we lost him. Then we
Yeah.
lost him with Gotti. Yeah.
Now with the Sopranos, right? Obviously, look, Vincent. Everybody is you're known for the Sopranos, right? I mean, that's a reality right there. You're a great actor. You did a lot of stuff, but with the Sopranos, did you remember the audition? Did you remember any of the stuff? Then now since you're an acting teacher too, did you remember the choices you made when you looked at the script? What'd you do? What'd you do at that moment?
No, I don't remember the choices I made. That's 25 years ago. I do remember the audition, and we do talk about it at the show, the Soprano show.
Mm-hmm.
How me, Sirico, Dominic, we all got called in from the cast of Gotti because
Oh, okay.
Gotti was a big hit for HBO. So they called us in, bringing the usual suspects.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody they brought in from Gotti got a part. Dominic became Uncle Junior. Tony Sirico became Paulie. Frankie Pellegrino became the Fed. I became Big Pussy. Frank Vincent became Phil Leotard. I mean, Frank didn't get work for a couple of years, but a lot of us were in the pilot that were in the Gotti movie. So the Gotti movie, and
That's with
Mike
Armin.
when I'm on Asante,
Right.
yeah. I got a movie that came out. We just came out Friday night called Don Q with me and Armand. We're in a film festival. He just won. No, that's what happened with the auditions, and I don't remember how I prepared for it now.
Okay. But you as an acting teacher, you do that on the side, and I'm sure you have a lot of students.
Yeah,
Now, I know I went to the conservatory, we did voice and speech, we did movement, we did all that, right? Let's say you have a kid, 20-year-old, 21-year-old, just a beginner. What do you teach them right in the beginning? Like, you guys give scenes? What is it?
I don't like to teach beginning acting.
Okay, so you got established actors then. That's what you're saying.
Well, I got stuck with one kid in my last class. He was a cameraman on a thing that I was doing with another actor, a clothing thing on Park Avenue somewhere, where they put the Soprano. He worked for WPOX, and I don't know what I said to him. Next thing I do, class starts. I turn around, the kid's standing there. I says, "How'd you get in?" Because they have to have requirements.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I told him you said I could study with you." So I said, "Okay, you're the stage manager." And he says, "You want me to do a monologue?" I said, "No, I'm going to have you work on a scene with Julian Mazzola, who's one of my prize students. His father and I have done a lot of movies together. Um, and at the end of the class, I said, the second, because it's a 4-class workshop. I said, you look like a college kid sitting there. You're supposed to be a wise guy. And he says, what do you want me to do? I said, go home and watch Goodfellas.
Hey, that's the best thing.
You tell him how to play a wise guy. How do you tell somebody how to play a wise guy?
Right,
There's no,
yeah.
you can't go to the actor's studio and learn how to play a wise guy. You gotta steal.
Well, that's what Vincent D'Onofrio said. When I interviewed Vincent D'Onofrio, I said, how do you get into these characters? And he says, buddy, I steal them off others.
Well, you talk about Vincent D'Onofrio, and I was just watching Full Metal Jacket because I like to, when I'm home, watch some of the old movies he put on. And then you see the work that he does on Godfather Harlem. You know that he went through a whole circle with his career, but he knows what he's doing. See, I'm shooting a movie out here next week on City Island. It's a student film. Well, my student wrote me 6 pages of stuff I got to memorize. So before I was on Zoom with you, I got to learn my lines. We're shooting Monday. I got to learn my lines. So it's not easy. I mean, unless you go up and do something, which I did in the Don Q, which was all improvisation. Claudio let me do improvisation. But when you get David Chase will not let us change one line.
So it was right to the T, right? Every word.
The only time I ever improvised was in the pilot because we had a little more freedom then. But once we got picked up and they were serious about this show, you got to stick to the script.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a hit show. But let me ask you this.
Well,
Listen,
before it was a hit show. We didn't know it was a hit show until season 1 aired, which was 2 years after the pilot.
Right, but
David had everything in the can. Then he gave it to HBO, and then they released it. And while season 1 was running, we were in Jersey working on season 2, and all of everybody started hanging around the set, and who are these guys, and who's this Gandolfini guy, and who's this big pussy, and everything started to escalate in season 2 while we were filming because season 1 was being aired.
right.
And then we started to get a lot of acclamations and stuff.
Vincent, what was it like working with James? Was he the type of guy, like, let's say you executed a really good take?
Yeah, he would say, "Do it."
Would he offer you and say, hey, are you comfortable? You want to do it again? Was he that type of guy?
Well, normally an actor doesn't have that power. It's up to the director, and if David Chase was directing an episode. But the thing is that they let Jimmy have that power. And when we were in season 2, and I had a lot of dialogue to do, I said to Jimmy, "Help me out here." He used to turn to Phil, the DP, whoever's behind the camera, and said, "Give me another take." Jimmy would call that.
Wow. I mean, that's what I mean. For him to
But
look out
I
for you
never
like that.
met anybody else who was so given to another actor. It's like what we teach down in school. Yeah, you can come up and give me a monologue, but even a monologue, you're talking to somebody.
Well,
So acting is reacting. Acting is reacting. It's what you give me. I mean, you have the written line, but I don't know how you're going to play it.
that exactly. You could make a numerous choices, but I believe that what you just said, listening is the number one thing. That's what I learned in the Meisner technique. Gandolfini went through the Meisner technique. I think that's the best technique for me. It worked well for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But listen to this, Vincent. After when you got killed off, right? Did you take it personally? Like here's the thing: what I tell actors, I said, listen, when you're on a show and people get killed, the biggest fear is coming to work every day and saying, "Shit, I hope I don't get killed off or written off." Because what happens? Now you got to look for another job, right? So when they told you, Vincent, listen.
When David told me you were going to get killed off, the show wasn't that successful yet. It didn't become very successful until after we finished season 2, and they killed David Paval, and they killed me.
Right.
That's when everything blew up. So when David called me up and said, Vinny, you're going to be the rat, blah, 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 you don't think when you're doing a pilot or that you're going to go 7 years. You say, okay, whatever. And then when I got killed off, the show kept going. But, David kept his word. He said to me, I'm going to bring it back as a ghost once in a while. And, I always stayed in the family. And now I'm running around with Michael and Steven. So it's 20 years later. I'm still living on the claim of being Big Pussy. So, he created something for me that's forever.
Yeah, but Vincent, everybody loved you. Everybody loved that character. Come on. Now.
Right, everybody loved the character, but I mean, if I didn't make those choices, one of the things that I had to think about is how can people like me if I'm killing people? And Jimmy had that same problem. He choked the guy up in college, Tony Rossi. How could the audience still love this guy? He killed a guy right near his daughter. And that was the yin and yang with Sopranos. Christopher was a junkie, but we loved him.
Right.
Dominic, Uncle Junior was a bigot, but we loved him. Edie Falco, I don't have anything negative to say about any of the female characters because they were written and played well. Lorraine's character, Edie's character, but the guys, there was a time when Tony Sirico went up to David, you ain't going to make me a rat. You ain't killing me off the show.
What? He said that?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You ain't going to, because when they killed me that day, and we were in the studio, we were shooting that scene in the studio,
mm-hmm.
and I was lying on the ground with my blue sweatsuit on. Jimmy came over, put a box on my lap, and it's inside the box was a humidor filled with Cuban cigars, and it was engraved from everybody. And Tony Sirico was upset. Little Steven was upset. Jimmy was upset. They were upset that I wasn't going to be on the show anymore. Not so much about the storyline, the fact that we all came up together. I know Tony since 1980. I know Michael since 1980. We all came up together, and I'm the first guy to get thrown off the boat.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure
everybody was upset.
The fans were upset.
Since we're talking honest, Eddie, I'm doing a movie in Westwood with Talia Shire called Pizza with Bullets. Mm-hmm. Ronnie Mama. Me and Talia were walking through Westwood. It was on the day after the last episode aired where the TV went blank.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having lunch because we're friends. And TMZ came up to me. So what did you think of the ending last night? I didn't know what was going on because I didn't see it. I said, what ended? Well, the screen went blank. I said, well, maybe you didn't pay a Con Ed bill. I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't really get up to that until when I had time to watch it. And I said to myself, well, what's the big deal? He left it. David left it where he could come back because we didn't know we were going to lose Jimmy. David left it where we could come back. Now, could I come back? Yeah, we had dinner one night. I knew what was going on. Right. He could have just said that Tony had a dream, that he never killed Pussy. So that's the way David wrote. He left everything open. So he did that ending. Shareppa thinks that that Tony really got killed in the diner. I don't think so.
I don't know. It was so hard. It kept us like, man, what? Damn, this is what happened? Oh, my God, what the hell? People thought the cable went down. Antennas went down back then. Like, it was just...
Well, that has been done before. John Sayles did a movie with Chris Christopherson. I can't remember the movie. I just remember Chris was in a plane. He was going into this island. He was going to crash the plane. Instead of watching him crash the plane and dying, the screen went blank. So, I mean, it wasn't the first time the screen ever went blank.
Right.
Why did David do that? Well, you got to ask David, not me.
You still talk to
Why
them?
did he write me off? I don't know. He wrote me off because he did. But he gave me a nice second season.
Well, of course.
What did I do?
Well deserved. Okay, so after The Sopranos, okay, I'm sure when you got killed, I'm sure Hollywood was calling you. I'm sure there was
Oh,
billboards
yeah, I
around,
was doing a
right?
lot of movies. Right. I was doing a lot of movies. Right.
Right. So even though you did 2 seasons only, but look at the opportunities you got because the show was a hit. Remember that.
Right.
Sopranos was a
Nobody,
hit
if I
show.
wasn't on The Sopranos, I would have never landed in Hollywood. That's when I met Jimmy Franco. I met Jimmy Franco on Deuces Wild. I met a lot of, when I worked with John Favreau on Made, I mean, the movies were coming in. I did 2 projects for Liz Hurley. One she produced. She produced Mickey Blue Eyes. The work was coming in. But there was also regret. And the regret is as the show really started to blow up and these guys were making a lot of money. And I used to say, well, what happened to me? And I stopped watching the show.
Right.
I was
Well,
going to
it's the
sit
same thing.
there.
It's the same thing when I interview ball players and they don't play for the Yankees anymore, and it's like
Stop watching the Yankees.
I'm not watching the Yankees. Exactly. It's like, oh, I don't care, you know. And then
I mean, there's an animosity, whether you're a ball player or you're an actor, when you're not a part of something anymore. And it continues, especially when we all sat down and we were all given 7-year contracts.
Mhm.
So that's another reason why we should stay out strike because we don't get actors don't get what they deserved. When I was working with David Kelly on The Practice and I was supposed to go into Boston Legal and then something happened. I was signed to do Boston Legal with David. They changed their mind. David Kelly Productions paid me for 7 episodes
Mhm.
because that was ABC television. HBO didn't do that.
Well, HBO's cheap, I heard.
When I was going into season 2, my agent called up and was negotiating my deal, and he said he's got a lot of work to do. And their answer it was, yeah, but he's getting killed. They gave me a $35 a week raise.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But let me ask you this, Vincent. Your relationship with the Soprano cast, right? You guys must have had so much fun going on set. Wherever you went, people recognized you, right? I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah, we have fun, and that's why I do what I'm doing tonight. I got a rock and roll show up in Pleasantville somewhere, and people come up to. I don't think they come up to see me sing. They come up to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Where's Mike? Is he coming in?
What's up,
Michael,
Uncle Vin?
I really can't stay an hour, man. I gotta take a nap. I got a big show tonight.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave in about 10 minutes, and then you can talk to Eddie about how your hair is getting gray.
Okay, definitely.
Hold up, Vincent. So here's an example. Mike Massimino went to the conservatory acting school, still working on his craft. How is he as a student? And Mikey, what'd you learn from Vincent as an actor
No,
in
I don't want
22?
to. That's a stupid question. I didn't have to train Michael or anything. He came in. My acting workshop is what it is. It's a workshop. You come in and you work, like going to the gym. I didn't teach him.
Okay, so you're saying that it's maintaining your craft. That's what I just said.
If you came, Eddie, to my workshop and you and Michael want to do a scene from Glenn Rose, I help you with the scene. But someone came up to me 2 weeks ago from where is she from? Albania, and she says no notes. I said I don't give notes.
Wait, say that again?
I said I don't give notes.
Mm. So, Mike, what do you like about Vincent's class?
Well, first of all,
He likes that
Vinny,
I don't give notes.
like the freedom that Vinny gives us to when we come in, and we could pick any play we want to pick. But the thing that Vinny does and what he stresses about is the research of the character. Okay, and he stresses what's this character going to wear. Those are the things he'll throw in, but he lets the actor work. He lets us do our thing. And if he's got a little something to say, he throws a little in, but he leaves the actors alone.
Yeah, unless you don't have the experience that Michael has, the experience that Mike Tyler has. What some guy came in, like this kid. I met him on Zoom. He was from Turkey. I said, and then he moved to Louisville. I said, come to New York. The guy's on the money. He's great,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm developing him almost like an idol maker, but I don't. When Michael comes to my class, Eric Cibro comes to my class, Mike Terrell, these guys, they know what they're doing already. So they say, I want to do Death of a Salesman. I want to do, like Michael did Born Yesterday. I want to do Born Yesterday. I want to do all these things,
Yeah, and we had a great, and it was one of the.
So I
Mike, do me a favor, center yourself because half of your face is missing.
Oh.
Yeah,
How's that?
yeah, that's better. Vincent,
that's okay. We don't need to
Vincent, I didn't know that. I thought you trained like beginning actors too, but I didn't know that, so I apologize for that. And I know that was a stupid question earlier. I didn't know. But
that's okay. Yeah, this is a kid that lives down the corner. He don't know. He's a model, and I keep saying, "Why don't you come over Saturday? I'll give you a lesson." He never shows up. So it's like, you want to be serious, or you're going to waste my time.
Yeah,
and that's what's great about the school. They don't want to waste their time. They paid to go to that school, so they come down there and deliver. But when you run into people on the street, oh, I want to be an actor. Oh, I want to. Okay. How do I be an actor? You got to go learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Go in the gym and fight Mike Tyson without training. You'll get killed.
Look,
and that's why when I worked the last time with Woody, Michael sitting right next to me, we rehearsed on it on Zoom. We worked with Woody Allen on this new play. Me and Michael are waiting to hear if that play's going to take off. What's funding. And when you reach that level of acting, it's like this. There's a movie going to be taking place in Boston. I brought Mikey's name up. I said to the director, I had lunch with him the other day. I said, you got to talk to Michael. He even sounds like he's from Boston. So Michael submitted himself. I got an email back, and the guy says he's going to get in touch with you, and that's how we do this. And I hope Michael gets a role. Right, Michael?
Well, I appreciate it, Vinny. Thank you very much for doing that. And that's the kind of guy he is,
Yeah.
Now
it's up to you. It's up to you to get the part. It's not up to me.
Right, exactly.
I submitted you. Right.
Yeah.
I know you're great for the lead. I know that. But it's up to you to go see. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Vincent, go ahead, Mikey. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that, and Vinny's very generous when, like, he'll open his home, like, if he likes you in his class, you could go to his house and rehearse with him, I realized I needed reading glasses. Remember, Vin? In your living room. Remember you gave me your reading glasses? I couldn't see the goddamn paper in the class.
Yeah. Well, before COVID,
I said, "Oh my God!"
was coming over, but now I kind of keep a little restricted. Michael comes over, a couple of guys come over.
Yeah, a couple guys. I mean, he doesn't. It's not for the public.
Joe comes over, stuff like that.
Yeah, the guys he knows, he allows us to do that. He's open, just like Chaz was when we did Chaz's class, Eddie. You remember?
Yeah.
These guys, they make time and they pay it forward. They don't know how much we appreciate it. I'm sure they do, but we really do. But you got to show up and you got to be prepared. You got to let them know that you're serious.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Vincent and Mike, when I was in acting school, I since I have a huge athletic background, I trained like an Olympian. I said to myself, if this is what you want to do, you got to prepare yourself like an athlete, and you got to be really specific, make choices, make bold choices, and just let it go. Just let it go.
Sure, absolutely.
That's what I learned. And you got to keep working on your craft consistently. Otherwise, you're not serious, And some of the actors, a lot of them are lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to train, especially nowadays. They don't want to train.
Well, Eddie, when we did Goodfellas, Marty gave 45 actors union cards because he had to. In that big Copa scene and in the Bamboo Lounge scene, Out of those 45 actors who got union cards, maybe 2 of them are still in the business.
Yeah, well, you know, that's how it is. I mean, this business, and you know what? And I tell people, this is show biz. This is not a sensitive biz. Either get the job done or go fucking home. That's how it is, and that's how athletes are. Because in acting, here's what I tell the difference between an actor and an athlete. Look, if you fuck up a take, you could do another take. But in sports, you fuck up a play, that other team is celebrating with the champagne, and you're fucking going home.
Well, if you mess up on stage, which is live,
yeah, well, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, but in theater, you can't afford. You can't afford.
Oh.
I don't know. There's a lot of funny stories out there. I remember I was doing Bullets Over Broadway in Maine, and the girl was on the road with the play, and then they went union up in Algonquin, so I went up there with Sally Struthers. So the girl that was playing my girlfriend, while I'm singing to her, Eddie, she smacks me. I said, right in the middle of the fucking song, 900 people in the audience. I said, what the fuck you smacked me for?
But you were in the moment.
And then she went up to the stage man. She says, he never does the same blocking. Oh, never does the same blocking. What are we, puppets?
You should have given a warning from Analyze This. You want another one?
Right. You know, we were talking about Bullets Over Broadway. Me and Nicky Cadero, the first time we did the scene on stage, I was going neck to, I was like, one side of the stage, he was on the other. By the time we got to the 100th performance, I was going nose to nose with him. And I said, Susan, is this okay? She says, no, you guys do whatever you want. And that's what I learned from big time directors, and I apply that to class. I can't tell an actor where to draw from,
right.
But he has to draw, or she has to draw from something. We know that. How many times can you cry in a movie? You need something to draw from. How many times can you get mad? How many times can you laugh? You need something to draw from when you're filming. When you're on stage, it's more organic.
Well, I think playwrights are well written better than screenplays. Don't you think, Vince or Mike? What do you think of that?
Well, it depends.
It depends.
There's some great playwrights out there. I mean, Vincent, what's your favorite playwright, Vincent? Which play that you? Because I know Mikey told me that you read a lot of plays. Which one is like your really? Which one?
David Mamet is my favorite playwright. Yeah, David Mamet.
Yeah, he's no joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do 4 or 5 scenes from his plays in my classes. Oleana, Glengarry, American Buffalo, blah 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 blah.
And we did a lot of them in it. We did a lot of them in his class.
Yeah, and I also love Arthur Miller. You from the Bridge, Deputy Salesman.
Oh yeah, great writing. Yeah.
And then what happens is when you get like somebody like Mike comes in and I say, let's do Born Yesterday, and yeah, there was a movie with Robert Crawford, but it was also done as a play with Paul Douglas. And when you bite into Born Yesterday, when you bite into these plays, Country Girl, written as a play, then you find out what's really going on. Because when they did Country Girl as a movie, they made a musical out of it with Bing Crosby. But Frank Elgin in Country Girl was a drunk.
Right.
He was an alcoholic, you know. And in Born Yesterday, that scene, it's hard to play that character in Born Yesterday because he's abusive. Right, Mikey?
Oh, yeah.
He's abusive. You know?
Big time.
But I could see Mikey in True West, too.
True West? He could do True West. Oh, you
True
like
West,
that?
But how about the play reading we just did? We did Marlon Brando sat right here. I never heard of it. He introduced it to me. I love it. Yeah. Great play we did. Nice play reading that we just rehearsed a few times on Zoom with Vinny's theater company. You know, he introduces these plays that a lot of people haven't heard of. And then when you read them, you're like, wow, why aren't we doing this? We should be doing this. Somebody should be doing this, you know?
Vincent,
somebody needs to produce them.
Vinny,
somebody needs to produce these forgotten works.
As a teacher, right? Now, look, I used to be a high school gym teacher. Is there times when you watch an actor perform in your class and you're like, what the fuck? I mean, you could get really frustrated. You'd be like, what the fuck is that? Right? Do you get like that? Because you explained, hold on, Vince.
Yeah,
you explained it to the actor. You explained to the actor. You tell him to adjust, and he's still doing the same fucking thing. And you're like, what the fuck? Can it really bother you sometimes?
Of course it bothers you.
Okay.
You
As a teacher, I'm talking about.
You get frustrated. You get,
right.
But then again, like I got a guy comes to class pre-COVID, Timmy Doherty. Mikey knows Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said to him, he was doing something. I said, "Don't quit your day job."
Did he cry afterwards?
After COVID, he comes back in and he goes up and he does 27 wagons full of cotton. He does Glengarry. He does Father Barry from On the Waterfront. And I was telling Timmy last night, because he's helped me work on this short film, I said, Timmy, you know what I told you? Yeah, you told me not to quit my day job. I said, well, I'm glad you didn't quit your day job because nobody's working now, but you're a hell of an actor now. And he learned.
Yeah.
But Vince, sometimes I feel like there's people out there, a lot of actors are sensitive, but I'm the type of actor that you could criticize me. I'm going to fucking make the adjustment. And I love criticism because this is what I learned from Tommy Lasorda. He told me, Eddie, when people criticize you, that means they fucking care about you. Remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course.
So Vince, Mike.
Yes.
What else do you feel about his as a teacher? What do you like him? What do you like about him as a teacher?
I don't know why you're going down. I don't teach that much. You act like I teach 6 days a week. I only teach like twice a year.
Well, listen, I don't fucking know. I mean, you're an acting teacher.
Listen,
I don't know.
I will say that.
About teaching in this whole segment. Let's talk about trying to get a job. Let's go get a job, Michael.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. So
Vinny,
we're all
Vinny's
actors. We all
teacher.
audition, and then sometimes we don't get the part, even if you're perfect for the part.
Well, now you have to audition on Zoom.
Yeah.
Right, Michael?
Yeah.
I just did one on Zoom. I just did an audition on Zoom.
For who?
2 days ago. With the casting director.
And did you get a call back? Did you get a call back?
Not yet, but I'm pretty confident.
So when you do the audition on Zoom, the callbacks are in person or again on Zoom?
They're on Zoom.
Well,
it depends on the part. If it's a big part, it might be in person. I haven't done an in-person audition since COVID.
Yeah, well, we were doing the Narrows with Jeff Mazzola, and he said that he auditioned everybody on Zoom and he casted on Zoom, except for the people that he gave parts to, Michael Slowly and stuff. They're all doing Zoom now.
They're all doing Zoom. But I think what's going to happen is we might start doing live auditions now. Instead of doing the audition at home, we'll do it from home, but it's going to be with the casting director the first time before the callback. Because that's what I did. I did a regular audition and then the callback for the first time in a long time. So I like doing it from home. I like doing it first because you can do it as many times as you want. But see, now I think they're going to start doing live again. I'm not sure if they're all going to do that, but I think that's what it's going to start to be like. I don't think we're ever going to be doing it in person again. I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think so, Mike?
I don't. No, the casting director.
Well, I don't know. I met these guys for lunch the other day, Michael, and they give me a part. That's in person.
That's
in person.
Right.
That's in person. Like when I did Birthday Cake, Bobby McGowan called me up. My manager said, "You want to work with Val Kilmer?" I had to go down there and meet these people. So there's certain things that they want to talk to you. And when I went down to meet these people, they said, Val Kilmer can't do the role. He can't talk no more. We want you to learn all his lines. I said, what?
Right.
Okay, that's why we had the meeting, But if you were going up for like maybe 3 lines in a Blue Bloods or something like that, they'd probably give it to you over Zoom. But if you're up for a major role, like there's a role in this thing that we're doing in Boston, and I was reading it. I said, Mikey, fucking Mikey could do the lead. I'm hoping that, and Joey told me, the guy told me he got your information today. I'm hoping they have him read for the lead. You know, because if he reads for the lead, then he's gonna plus you can owe me 10%.
Of course.
Right.
All about the Benjamins, Vincent.
I'm in already, Eddie. When you're in something, then you can refer, like I do this with my friend Killer Joe all the time. Mikey knows Killer. Killer's a singer. He's going to pick me up a little while, take me upstate, but he's also an actor. And if I say you should use Killer Joe and they use him, I'm not sending them a lemon. I'm sending them a guy. When we worked on the Narrows, they loved him so much, and Mike understands this. They gave him Taft-Hartley. He can get his union card now. I mean, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to send a lemon.
He works hard, and he worked hard in your class, and he's working hard. He deserves it, you know. You gave him a nice shot there.
Let me ask you this, Vincent. When like Mike and I, we still have to do auditions. We still have to do readings. Do you still have to audition, or people offer you the role?
I don't want to audition anymore.
You don't audition anymore, right?
No. I told my agent, it was funny, I told him about Christmas time. I quit the business. Why? I said, because he's sending me crap. Boom. He calls me 2 weeks later. He said, you still quit the business? Woody Allen wants you to read his part, the play. I told Michael this. I said, no, I didn't quit the business.
Well, that was quick. I retired. No, I didn't retire.
I really don't like.
You don't like?
I'm 70 years old. I've been in this business since I was 40 years old. You want me to audition for a wall? Give me a break. I picked up the script. I talked to the guy, Joe. He's a sweetheart. I said, I want to play Benny. He said, you want to play Benny? I want to play Benny. Why do you want to play Benny? I said, I like the part. I want to play Benny because he's in prison and he don't have to leave the prison cell. Because it's just Benny. It's a cameo. And I said to the DP, I says, I can't be doing all this work no more. You know, I can't. I'm getting fried, man.
But also, Eddie, you and I are in a different category than Vinny. Vinny's been in the a long time.
Yeah, but Vinny's very well established. Well established.
Yeah, well established. He could go meet with a producer and they'll say, can we sit down with Vinny? What I meant by in-person auditions, I meant from home. If they want to meet us for a role like Vinny's talking about, that would be live.
And you got to go into the city.
Yeah, you got to go.
You know, God bless Louis Vittorio's active friend of ours who just passed away. When I was working on Don Q, I said to Louis, he said, "Help me with your lines." I said, "No, I'm doing all improvisation. Me and Armand got this thing. I'm not learning nothing. It's all improvisation in this movie." I said, "But you got to go down and hang out with these people." Well, you want me to audition? I said, no. You got to drive me in one day and just hang out. Yeah. So Louis Vuitton drove me down to Little Italy one day. He was hanging out. He came up to me and says, I'm going to play the tailor. I said, see, by coming into the city and hanging out, you got a job.
Yeah.
I wish it was like that for all of us.
Eddie, it could be. Our friends, you know, even Eddie Fee, who was working with us on the play for a while. When I did the Narrows, I said, I got you extra work, but it's featured extra. The way I told you earlier today, Eddie, about how the Dylans gave me a break, let me tell you something. It's my position to try to help people if they can do the work. Because that's what, if you want to call me a teacher, instructor, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm studying with Bill Hickey at HB. I'm in his class on Saturdays. We come back to work next Saturday. He says, Vinny worked on my TV show this week. He's one of my wise guys. Okay?
One of my wise guys. Let me ask you, Vincent, in HB Studio, what's the difference? Was it a Strasberg? Was it Stella Adler? Was it Meisner technique? What was HB Studio about? What kind of technique did they teach?
I don't know.
I don't know. Now, how the fuck did you learn then?
What?
How did you learn?
HB? I learned a lot. There's a book she wrote. I learned a lot at HB, and then I went and I studied privately with another guy, Tommy Wade. Tommy was on the set with me for the whole second season of Soprano.
Oh, okay.
That's
But
how
Vinny,
you do
your big break was Gotti. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what.
that was my break.
Yeah.
We'll work when I'm on. Yes.
The best Gotti. That was a great
Yeah.
Gotti.
Well, come on. Yeah. That's how I'm on. All right. It's 1:52. Where are your children?
It's supposed to be
I
10 o'clock.
gotta
You know where your
take
children
a cat nap. I gotta take a shower. I got a show tonight. Okay, guys.
are. All right, listen, Vince, you've been great. You are the man, all right?
And let's not forget, November 15th, Vinny's going to be in Fairfield, Connecticut with his band, the Gangster Squad, at the
Sea Grape, and Michael's my host.
Yes, I will be hosting the event.
Fairfield, yeah, free admission to Sea Grape.
I live in Forest Hills, Queens. I'll take my Tesla and I'll see you guys there. How's
Yeah,
that?
we're going to get Eddie over there. And don't forget, New Haven, they're also doing the Goodfellas in conversation with the Sopranos. Not Goodfellas. In conversation with the Sopranos, New Haven, at College Street Theater. Right, Vinny?
Right, and then I'm going to do Huntington, Long Island, and I'm doing New Jersey. Where was it, New Jersey, where Jimmy had the home?
I don't even know where he lives.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But my neck of the woods, New Haven, Connecticut.
What happened is that the show with me, Michael, and Sharippa, in fact, that's what somebody was texting me about. Me, Michael, and Sharippa, we've been to Australia, we've been to Canada, and now because of the actors' strike, we grabbed as many shows. We never used to work 2-3 times a month, and now we said, let's go to work. And thank God, because it paid my bills.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Vin, hold on a minute. Don't go anywhere. Hold on, Mike. Are you a cigar smoker, Vincent?
No, I smoke pot.
Okay, well, I was about to send you from San Giuseppe cigars to you.
Give them to Michael. I won't smoke them. I mean,
yes, send them to me, Vin, Frank.
Well,
give them to Michael.
You'll have some for your guests. How's that?
I don't smoke cigars.
All right.
You want to see my zipper?
Yeah, but how old is she? She can see your zipper.
I had the thing. I don't
Vincent,
talk about my.
Vincent,
Vinny, what's the date? What's the date with the In Conversation with the Sopranos for New Haven? Do you remember?
Yeah, the Saturday after our show. It's the 14th, 15th, 18th.
November 18th.
I might stay up there. What?
November 18th, College Street, New Haven.
Right.
Yeah.
So Vincent,
Eddie, you're going to come to that too.
I can't. I'm going to be Jacksonville, Florida for the football because I got invited by Lavernius Cole from the Jets.
Okay. God bless
you. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let me go hit the shower, hit the gym, and get ready for a show with Killer Joe tonight. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Eddie. All right. Michael, you should stay on and keep talking to Eddie.
Yeah. Well, I talk to Eddie a lot.
Yeah. We talk a lot.
I'll stay on with you, Ed.
Yeah,
okay, hang out with us. Goodbye, guys.
Vinny,
thank you, Vinny. I appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
Hold on, Mike. Let me get you. Let me get rid of this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. Hold on. We're still on. Hold on. Let me. Okay, so Mike, do me a favor. Promote this again because he wasn't promoting, and it was hard to hear him sometimes.
I couldn't really hear him either. He was kind of echoing a little bit, but he was delayed. But that's okay. So anyway, November 15th in Fairfield, Connecticut. I live in Easton, Connecticut, which is right on the Fairfield line. Vinny's Gangster Squad, that's his band. They're playing at a famous bar here in Fairfield, Connecticut called the Sea Grape. Okay? And that's on November 15th. You're going to come down for that. And
November
I'm going to host
15th,
it.
I could make because November 17th, I fly out. So
November 15th, the next day, I'm going to Vegas. So I'm going to Vegas on the 16th. So I'm going to be there. Well, you're going to be in Mississippi, but I'll be in Vegas.
No, not Mississippi. I'm going to first be in Knoxville. Then we go to Jacksonville the next day.
You're not going to Mississippi at all.
No. Unless Deion Sanders was still coaching in Jackson.
Oh, you know what? I may not be here for the Sopranos thing because I'm going to be in Vegas. That's right. Anyway, on November 18th, In Conversation with the Sopranos will be at College Street in New Haven, Connecticut.
And you're going to be the MC, Mike.
I'm going to be the MC for the November 15th show for Vinny Pastore and the Gangster Squad at the Sea Grape in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Okay.
That's just his band. He's got a great band. He's got great musicians. You know, They play rock and roll. They play all kinds of good stuff.
All right. So now we know what's going on.
Yeah.
And promote. And
absolutely.
So this is Mike Massimino, which I met at Chaz Palminteri's acting class in one-on-one, right? That's where I met you?
Yeah, one-on-one. New York City, West 27th Street, baby.
You got it. All right, so let me end this. This is Mike Massimino. Hold on a minute, Mike. Don't go anywhere.